That's James's dinner. I'm going to talk about these movies after I sing my song, and this will be a short little dinner. And this song is Danza inspired. Danza is a poetic form, and it's a great one. So we'll see if this works out. I thought that it'd just be Lily and me. Her sleepover party'd been a bad sign, but had it been hers or Laura's design, I had to see Lily innocently. I thought that it'd just be Lily and me. My Lily and me sure seemed to belong together, and so I chose to stay strong. Were Lily and me not destined to be? It didn't take long for me to see my Lily had really never been mine. I thought that it'd just be Lily and me. I met some ex-girlfriends that had been fine, though their dispositions weren't much like mine. Those women, I'd bet, would surely agree. I thought that it'd just be Lily and me. But soon it was clear that I had been wrong. One morning when Lily hurried along from Ruth and her girlfriends, Lily was free. I thought that it'd just been Lily and me. It didn't take long for me to see my Lily had really never been mine. But why had I ever thought that she'd be? So that's the thing, I don't feel badly about. I feel badly about the lack of communication between us, but we were young, But a person, like I found I had dated a few women and I got really clingy. It helped me realize how men get jealous with women and stuff. It's because I got that way. And I'd wondered, well, is it just me coming on too strong? Is that pushing the women that I dated away, or what? I don't know. But anyway, it's just it was what it was, and none of the people, Laura, Ruth, or Lily, the names were all changed in this, but I'll just call her Lily. But she was a lovely woman, and I broke her heart, and I guess she broke mine too, but I don't know. I think it was a lack of communication. I don't know if anybody should belong to anybody else. It's, everybody belongs to themselves, right? And I don't know, honestly, if maybe I was wrong. She was saying that, no, she didn't. Like when I phoned and Laura had spent the night, I thought, well, Lily said, oh, well, no, nothing happened. We just had a sleepover, whatever. And I thought, oh, well, maybe I'm being too jealous and whatever. Like, what's the big deal? And she says that nothing happened, so whatever. They're just friends. And, but
if
then I was thinking,
was saying that, wouldn't you be suspicious?
Yes. And besides, I knew that Laura wasn't her name. She was really into me. She had actually moved to be right near my place, so that she could rent a place near me. And it was clear that, like, I kept seeing her everywhere. And some people might think, oh, well, maybe we're destined to be together. But I didn't feel that way. I felt like, no, I think she's trying to insert herself into my life, right? Which maybe she wasn't. Maybe we were destined to be together, and I read things right wrong. I don't know. But whatever. I don't know. It just didn't work out. None of it worked out, and whatever. And honestly, when I met this one woman who was obviously an ex-girlfriend, she kind of scared me. But like she was really aggressive, really butchy, and it's like, oh my gosh, well, if you were into her, then why would you be into me? But whatever. And the woman Ruth, her girlfriend, was super hot. Like there's never been a hotter redhead in the whole history of the world. She was the hottest redhead that you could imagine. Just beautiful. So when I saw her leaving there early in the morning, I was like, oh, you know, that's it. You know, it's obviously I've been a fool, whatever. But then I thought, okay, well, fine, it'll be an open relationship, whatever. You know, and I honestly, I thought,
okay.
But then I don't think Lily wanted me to be with Silas again. Because one day Lily called and I could hear her crying on the other end, and I was like, oh no, I've really broken her heart. But honestly, we should have talked. We should have talked a lot more than we were. Because I honestly, I don't know what happened there. But that's that.
You know, like Rod Stewart, Pete Townsend was laughing about him. He's saying he's always crying in his songs about being dumped, and yet he'd always see him with a new big tall blonde on his arm. And the trouble is, they'd break Rod Stewart's heart, but he'd be cheating on them. He'd want the best of all possible worlds or something like that. Not necessarily for the women, but just for him. Kind of selfish.
Yeah, we were young.
Well, you know.
Young love. It's more young heartbreak. Young lessons.
Now, while you're doing that, I'm just going to get rid of this meat here.
Oh, you're going to give it to the pupsters.
I've separated it.
They're going to love it.
It's going to...
You might get to see a show of Elvis and Opie begging and doing tricks.
I'm not going to do it out here.
Okay.
There's too much stuff. Like when you brought the blanket out.
Elvis is really good at it.
He is awesome.
Yep. If There Be Thorns. So, I think this was the first. This came before this one. It's, it should be clearer, because the whole V.C. Andrews titles, like Flowers in the Attic, and then, I guess you have to think of, chicken and the egg thing, which comes first, and it's like, maybe the seed should come first, whatever. But seeing as it's seeds of yesterday, that makes sense. So you have the flowers, and then you have petals blowing in the wind, or something like the petals in the wind, and then you have If There Be Thorns, which really didn't make that much sense about the whole thing. But then seeds of yesterday. I don't know, maybe there should have been some rose hips in there or something, seeing as there's, I don't know. But it's hard to keep track of, which comes in what order, and maybe it shouldn't be, but I don't know. Honestly, I can't tell you if the movie stayed true to the books, because although I did read the books when I was 10 or 11 years old, which really not appropriate reading for a 10 or 11-year-old. My mother was very free about what I was reading. I guess, whatever. That was opposite. Like, she was, my dad had not been free about what I was reading when I was younger, and so I was kind of like, when my mom was more in control of the household, then she was more free about all of that, right? Because my dad hadn't been. So it was sort of like a reaction, I suppose. So whatever, doesn't matter. So If There Be Thorns, it's kind of a creepy story. I mean, if you watch Flowers in the Attic, you know that Christopher and Kathy had a very close relationship for siblings, and so this just goes on from there, right? But then you think, well, if you're locked in an attic and it looks like you're never getting out, and whatever, maybe you do develop some sort of false family situation, whatever. I don't know how to explain it without giving the story away. And if you're interested in watching it, whatever. But I mean, this is soap opera. All that I'm reviewing today, all of these, soap opera, soap opera, soap opera. But there's a little more story here, so better soap opera than this, that's all. But yeah, I would say none of these are worth watching. I guess I may as well cut the show off there.